Hey everybody, how you guys doing? Oh man. So I was talking behind the scenes there and realized what time it was, and then I cue the intro music and I look down and I see Paul R says Chuck is in makeup, and I just start laughing and forget to add myself to the stream. So that was pretty that was pretty funny. Hey guys, how are you? Welcome to another great Monday night right here on the Edge of Tech and the Community Showcase. I am so pumped for tonight. Um, it's going to be a great stream, and I know there's already a ton of you talking, and we had people like an hour and a half early saying hi, and they were first, and all that good stuff. But I just want to say, hey, everybody in chat. I know there's a bunch of you. If I did not say hi to everybody individually, hi collectively, I want to get it rolling because I want as much time as we can with our special guest today. I see Blasto's in the house. He's a fellow Wisconsin guy. So, hey, Blasto, that project, if you guys haven't checked out the project that Blasto's working on, he is doing a heck of a job documenting his journey on Instagram. Check that out. I won't spoil the surprise. If he wants to, he can in chat, but that thing is amazing. Essex, UK. Hey, Paul R. Kelvin from, I believe, Hawaii. Aloha. Travis says, stop messing with me. Nice. Well, I'm going to get right into it and do things a little bit different this today. But Llama's in the house. How you doing? I'm actually going to do a couple quick updates. Again, I want to get our special guest up here as quick as we can. So let's do that. Update number one. Last week we talked a little bit about weight loss, and I mentioned that I'm going on this journey. I've been really good this week. This past week, and working on that. I do have a Facebook group started. I had some people reach out to me via email, and I'm going to be adding you guys tonight. I'll be sending you invites to that group. If anybody else wants to get involved, shoot me an email, jim@theedgeoftech.com. Basically, it's going to be a private group. It will just be us and just encouraging and helping out and all that stuff. Maybe I know we talked about a challenge, so maybe we'll do something like everybody throws in $20, and at the end, the winner gets all the spool we can buy with whatever prize money plus whatever we get and that kind of thing. So I know we talked about that. Look for emails. If you've already emailed me, look for that invite tonight. If you have not emailed me and you want to jump in, once again, jim@theedgeoftech.com. Totally free range. There's no requirements. There's no pressure or anything like that. Just I'm going to be doing it, and some other people wanted to join me on my journey. So jump on in. 3D print a second mouth and stuff food in that one. That is funny. That would be a good one. All right. Another update. We have a couple of special streams this week. Yes, Mike at Never Let the Machines Win says accountability. Absolutely, that's exactly what it's all about. So let's do it. A couple of one more. We'll do one more update, and then we'll bring our guest in. So we have a couple special streams this week. We have this one, which is always special, and then we were going to do Lindsay and I, my wife Lindsay and I. We always make our 3D, our Alien 3D UFO unboxing videos. This month, we're going to do it live. We're going to have a little fun with everybody, so come join us. I believe she can correct me. I'm not sure if she's in chat yet, because I surprised her with this about, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes ago, right before I came in here. So we're either going to do it tomorrow or Wednesday. And it won't be a long stream or anything like that, but it'll be a stream with Lindsay. She doesn't get to stream with me often or at all. So we'll do that. And it'll be a lot of fun with her involved. So check that out. And shopping took so long. That's funny. Also, we have another stream that's going to happen on Sunday morning at 11 a.m. and I will spill the beans later in the chat. If you don't already know, if you do, don't tell anyone. But we'll spill the beans later in the stream on who's going to be joining us. But that'll be this Sunday at 11 a.m. Look forward to that. Without further ado, though, I want to bring in our special guest. I have been talking to this person since we started the Community Showcase in the end of August, and we've been both really busy. And finally, the waves connected, and we got together. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce Chuck Hellebuyck. Chuck, how you doing today?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. Can you hear me? Breaker 19, over. Nothing? Uh-oh. He's got nothing.
Yeah, my audio's now.
I hear you.
Yeah,
Hang on, let me create a banner. We hear you. Hang on, let me create a banner.
Oh, you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I don't hear you guys at all. So, let's.
How about now? Can you hear me?
All right, I think we
There
got
we
it.
go.
I think my.
What?
I think
Hey, you
my
never know
headphone.
what's going to happen. It's funny because we tested for like 15 minutes before we started the stream, right?
Yeah, I was ready to go. I couldn't hear anything you were doing at the beginning. I was just watching on my phone, and I says, well, hopefully this starts working when I come on.
That's okay. Well, how you doing?
I'm doing good. It's great to be here on the Edge of Tech.
Nice. Well, it's great to have you. Like I said, I was saying before we started the stream, I know we talked at the end of August when I first started this, and you said, hey, I'm busy right now, but get back with me. And then we've both been busy ever since. And finally the waves crossed and we connected, and now you're here. So I really appreciate you coming on. I know in the chat it's blowing up. Everybody's saying hi and hey. Michael Castle says, hey, Chuck, we can hear you both. And Paul R.
Good.
Paul R. from the UK says, sound check fail. Funny is, we did talk for like 15 minutes before the chat. So
everything was working perfect. And then you went to your intro, and then and I didn't move. That's the funny thing. So,
I'm going to have to, now it'll make me test that next time. I'll run the intro while the other person's in and make sure we don't lose audio. Here. But yeah, so we got a lot of awesome comments so far. And I just wanted to say, hey, so what have you been up to? I know most people here know you, and we'll get into where you're from and all that stuff. But what have you been up to?
Just oh man, just trying to catch up. There's a lot of projects I've been wanting to do. A lot of stuff I've been, with the holidays, you don't get to do what you want to do. A lot of that because of the time. So I've been playing with this Bantam PCB cutter. This little mini mill they let me use for a little bit of time, and so I've been having fun with that. Been finding my love for electronics again. I mean, it's still part of my day job, but it's just doing what I want to do with it. I've been doing a lot with that and trying to figure out a whole new avenue that I may be adding to the channel over time. So
nice.
That's what I've been fooling with.
That'll be awesome. I'm excited to see. I want to play with the CNC, so I'm excited to see that. So we talked a little bit before the stream, but I don't know that a lot of us have seen you on a lot of streams. I know you had a couple interviews in the last week or two here, and I told you before the stream, but I'm going to tell everybody now. I have literally avoided those interviews because I did not want to cross streams. I didn't want to be influenced on the questions that I had. And I didn't want to know the answers before I asked them. So, but what got you into 3D printing, and like how long have you been 3D printing, and what was your first printer? Let's start in that avenue. And I know chat's gonna probably ask us a bunch, so I'll watch their questions, and you guys feel free to ask anytime too. But let's start there.
Okay. Well, I guess we got to go way back because. Back the original SLA machines, back about 35 years ago or whatever. That's when I first saw 3D printing. I started as an engineer at Ford Motor Company. I was electrical engineer designing there. And they took us to a place where they had this full-size big SLA machine. I'm like, holy cow, this is amazing. And so I was able to see it in action way back then and then over the years. But you always wanted your own tools, the same way as like electronics. I wanted my own programmers and development tools, and all that stuff was, tens of thousands of dollars back then. So to actually design something electronic was pretty impossible. So as the costs came down, that's where my original website is, lproducts.com. It was and that's where CHEP comes from, Chuck Hellebuyck's Electronic Products. I wanted to do my own designs. I wanted to do my own custom work, and slowly I developed tools and wrote books about it, did articles about it. For a while, I sold starter kits, and it's about it was about 6, 7 years ago. I mean, when the whole MakerBot craze, I was like, wow, check this out. And so I just watched. For about 2 years, I just studied everything I could about what they're doing, how I was working, and I didn't have a lot of money to do it, but I wanted to learn all I could. And then about 5 years ago, I had $500 that I said set aside. I said, okay, this can buy me. I was going to buy a CNC,
Okay.
a Shapeoko CNC, for the sole purpose of cutting circuit boards. That's
Oh,
what it was
nice.
supposed to do. And right around that, it was a Christmas about 5 years ago, and my mother-in-law actually won a pretty good sized lottery, and so she gave us each $500 for Christmas. So
Nice.
I said, well, why? You just bought me a CNC, so now I can go buy, a 3D printer. And I shopped around, and there were 3 printers I could get $500. There was the PrinterBot, there was a Solid Doodle, and there was the Da Vinci. And the Da Vinci, well, I went to buy the PrinterBot. That was going to be my choice, and they raised the price like $50, and I was like, well, okay, it just priced right out of my range because it was $4.99. So I ended up buying a Da Vinci. It's fully assembled and everything, and I just started playing with it because I just wanted a 3D printer to print cases and brackets for my electronics.
Gotcha.
And I just started playing with that thing, and I was hooked instantly. I just couldn't quit 3D printing, and the electronics kind of sat on the side. And that's how the whole thing started.
Did that sit on the side too?
No, now the CNC, I had 3 channels planned, 3 sub channels really.
Nice.
I had the Filament Friday, I had CNC Sunday, and then I was looking at a Tuesday Tech, which was going to be like electronics and everything coming together. And that was the first one to go because I just was terrible on camera, and I was like not comfortable and just not explaining things well. So I just did the other 2. And the CNC I did for a while, but that wasn't really getting views. The 3D printing stuff just took off.
Nice.
And there wasn't a whole lot. There was Tom was out there. There's a few other channels, and but I think Tom was like the biggest, and of course Barnacles was doing some stuff. And then I just said, I'll just launch a channel about the same time. I think Joel came like 6 months after me, but then, passed me right up. But Angus and I started about the same time. And all I started doing was, like, people were complaining they couldn't get their Da Vinci to do stuff. Right. And I was like, well, yeah, Ken, just, fix this bearing or fix this problem. And that's what I started making videos. And that's really what made the channel grow. So that's really how I got into this whole thing was just doing that.
That's awesome. And from what I hear out of that response, it was the community that you started making videos for, I'm sorry, about your printers, in response to the community not being able to do certain things. And I think that's cool. And maybe I speak for a lot of us, but it seems like you do a lot for the community. You show us how to do these videos. When I was looking at printers, before I even bought one, you were one of the first channels I found, and I was like, oh, he's actually showing me how to fix this if I break it. And I don't even have one yet, and I think that has so much value in our community. And I think I speak for chat here by saying thank you for that, because I don't know, maybe Tom at that time, but was there anyone else really doing how-to videos like out there,
I think there was a Tech 2C. I think he was around, but he only did like one every month or 2, and he was pretty thorough. There was, I think, Rich Rap. I think he might have done a little bit. I think Daniel Norway even had some more videos back then. But as far as there wasn't a whole lot. A lot of people were just trying to get their printers to work. And so they were excited. They'd show it on the YouTube channel. Look what I printed. Look, I got it to work. And that was really a driving force back then. But my background, I've written 10 books on electronics, focused on how to get started with electronics before Arduino. I was doing that stuff well before Arduino, and that's what I brought to the channel. I said, people are going to want to know how to do that. I know I did, you know. So that's one thing. I don't forget what it's like to be a beginner. It's just either a flaw in me or a benefit. I don't know, whatever. But that's what I didn't forget. And I knew, I said, at some point, you know, someone's going to need this help. And now I captured it on video. So if anyone asks, I can say, hey, go watch a video.
Right.
And that's really where it came about.
So David asks, what's your favorite printer and why?
Geez, I would say the CR10 was really the first one that, I mean, well, I should go back. If you've watched, you saw I had a Fabricator Mini. I still got it somewhere in. But that was actually my favorite printer. It was $177. This small little thing, if you're not familiar, it's only like an 80 by 80 by 80 build area. So real small, but I was so fed up with the Da Vinci's and their closed source and lack of support. You couldn't get parts. I mean, that's a whole story in itself. That's why I kind of deserted in the channel. I couldn't recommend a printer. I didn't want people buying a printer that, you know, that I'm having problems with. I'm trying to save them trouble,
Sure.
not create it. So I found this thing on Hobby King. It was a Fabricator Mini. It was fully assembled, but it was completely open source. So I could reflash it and play with it. I had so much fun with that printer, and I have it at Murph every year. I'll probably have it again. So that really was probably my favorite, and I used that for many years. But of course, people all want bigger printers and how to do it, how to use them, and print something realistic.
Right.
So the CR10 was probably the one that captured me. I was just blown away at how good that thing printed. And Preston at Press Reset, he was the first one to really show the YouTube community's printer, and I know him and I trust his opinion. So I'm like, I'm getting that printer. I was like the fourth one, I think, to show it on YouTube. And I was literally blown away by that.
Nice.
But the CR10 Mini is one that really captured my heart. And that's the one I made a whole print farm out of. It was compact enough to fit on a bench, but it had all the features of a CR10. And that was really my favorite printer until the Ender 3. The Ender 3, when that first came out, I was not impressed. It needed work. And I just started working. It was almost like going back to Da Vinci where, you know, it's like, okay, I'll fix this and share it and fix that and share it. And now it's just become my favorite printer. It's amazing what that little thing can do for under $200.
I know, right?
Incredible.
That was that luckily was my first printer, and just like the 3D Mist printer just said, I have to attribute a lot of that to you and Michael from Teaching Tech. You know, between your two videos at that time, you know, back a little over a year ago, like Thanksgiving, or actually it was right in the beginning of October, I was like, all right, I'm going to start looking at these. And I'm like, between year two and a friend of mine that got one, I was like, I'm in, let's do this. There's enough info out there. The community is amazing around the Ender 3. Yeah, so I'm actually, I'd have to say, a lot of people give me a hard time. They say I'm the lucky one because I started with an Ender 3 and I didn't start with some of the old ANET stuff or some of the, like what you're talking about there. But that leads us into, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I kissed a lot of frogs before I found a print, you know. So it's.
But now you can unbox them, and if you set them up right, man, they rock and roll with the right profile, as you know, right? And the proper build on an Ender 3, because sometimes they get a little tweaked, a little, you know, if you're not straight, you get all sorts of craziness, especially your X gantry, right? But
well, I did a whole video on that because I had so many people asking me about it. So I just, you know, I'm just going to do a video and show people how to fix this.
Right. And then Paul R, that leads us into how many printers do you have? Paul R says.
I'm down. I've given quite a few away to maker spaces and schools. I had a neighbor who taught STEM, so I gave her a couple. But right now I'm down to, I probably got about 15 printers. And 8 of them are like running full time. 8 of them in the print farm just kind of running full time. And then I have another 7 that are just like in between printing or being fixed or being modified or played with. So that's where I'm at. I really don't take too many printers on anymore.
Yeah.
The requirements in that from some of the companies and some of the junk they want to offer me, I just, you know, I'm like, I've been down that road, you know, I'm not going to do that. And So, and it's a lot of clones. I mean, everything just is
Yeah.
cloning a clone of a clone.
Right.
So, but that's kind of where I'm at. I'd say about 15 printers.
Nice. So, any resin?
No, I had one resin early on. I one of the what is that brand? Wanho. Wanho had that the 7 or something.
Sure.
They sent me one. I didn't ask. They said, "Do you want this?" I said, "I don't think so." And they sent it anyway. So I ended up with this printer. I'm like, I tried playing with it. I could not get it to connect to my computer. I'm a Mac guy. They only had Windows software.
Right.
I have a Windows laptop. I could not get the LCD to work. And I said, you know what? I'm done with this. And Jim Carter, who lives about an hour from me.
Big CMC guy.
Yeah. So I offered, I says, hey, you want to play with this? He goes, yeah. So he took it. He actually got it working with a Raspberry Pi and brought it back and we did a video on it. And then I gave it to him. I think he gave it away too. But I learned enough from that experience that I realized I don't want to mess with the fluids. I don't want to mess with the resins. You spill that, it's a stain that you're not going to get out. I mean, they've gotten better from them, but just, you got to wear the gloves and the fumes and stuff. I'm like, you know what? There's so much more I can do with a FDM that I'm just, it hasn't really intrigued me. At some point, actually, we've got one of the big, Peel Poly Peel Poly's the new one that he's got. That's coming our way. It's actually, my son's going to be doing some development for his business.
Nice.
So we've got one coming, but he's going to run it. I'm just going to come and help him, and then we'll probably be filming some stuff at his shop.
Nice.
With
those are awesome.
So that's, Mark and I set up next to each other at Murph many years ago when he first started out, and we became kind of friends from that. And so finally, I says, "Hey, Mark, I'm ready. Let's get one. I'm going to get one of these things. We're going to, for my son. Which one should we get?" And so that's when you'll see it on the channel. But
at IRF, I met him, and they had Uncle Jesse's sitting there. Actually, it was his unit there for display. So I took a picture with my head literally inside of it. I took a selfie and threw it on Twitter for him. But I thought it was pretty funny that I could fit inside of it. It's a monster. Not to change gears, but Robbie Mack had a question a little bit ago. He said, if Winnipeg wins the cup, do you think Connor will share his day with the cup with you? And if so, what would you do with it? 3D scan it, print some upgrades?
Oh man, if that happens, we do a hockey party, family hockey party every year. And he has the boys have their friends. Because both my sons played hockey for years, and I coached and stuff. But we'd probably bring it to that big party. I don't know if there'd be a lot of 3D printing. I actually printed a big Stanley Cup for that hockey party we do every year.
Nice.
I printed that on my Artemis, but that's probably where it would end up. And of course, we'd drink beer or something out of the cup. And
if you don't
that
know,
would be a happy day.
Yeah, if you don't know, Chuck has a son that plays up in Winnipeg for the NHL. So that's why Robbie Mack asked that question. So, what position?
He's the goalie. He's the goalie for Winnipeg. Okay.
Nice. And we did get a whole bunch of questions here. I'm just trying to cycle through them as I go. So, a bunch of people in the mini camp. Everyone's saying, "Yeah, the mini." So that's awesome.
Interesting. At CR10 Mini, I just found out, I guess officially, that Creality is discontinued it.
Oh wow!
The CR10 Mini, you can't. I mean, you can still buy them at certain spots, but they're not producing anymore. So that's going away.
Nice. That's awesome. I mean, not awesome for Creality, but not awesome for anyone really. But the thing is, there's so many parts out there right now that I don't think you'll ever have an issue with that. We had some other ones. I'm trying to catch up on chat because I held back a little bit, but someone said, where was it? Your Magic Ender 3 profiles are literally magic. That was a good one. And that got me into those. And then I noticed what was it? That upgrade that they did in Kira where they actually used those. um, I can't even remember what it was called. Man, Brian Baker, I believe, did a video on it where they did that hack of Kira. Creosum. There we go. Had to think of that.
Oh, the Creosum. Okay, yeah.
And then I think
Yeah.
they actually used your magic numbers there in that, like as far as that goes. But
yeah, somebody said it. I don't. I think they were developing about the same time I was. So I don't take. And magic numbers not something I invented. Sure. You know, it's just I basically brought it to a bigger audience. But someone when they first come out, I took it as a compliment. They said basically Creosum is CHEP's profiles with one change. I forget what the change was. One minor change, and I think it's a bit more than that. But you know, because they had so many cool things that that it produces the image of the actual Ender 3 inside of it, and several other things.
Cool, yeah.
But yeah, Cura 4.0 basically incorporated Creosum into it.
I know a lot of people were upset at 4.0 because they didn't want to go that route. But what's funny is right around that time I started playing with Prusa Slicer, and I haven't looked back much. That someone asked me what my favorite slicer was and why, and I used Kira because that's what I learned on. That's what everybody's videos that when I got into it, that's what it was all about, Kira, right? And then I started I saw Prusa Slicer, and I'm like, I'm going to try this. And, everything, including I have a See Me CNC, the Rostock Max V4 over here that you can't see right out of frame, but the baby brother to your Artemis there. And everything, including that, I have running on the Prusa Slicer now. And I really like it. I know Kira,
it's good.
For free, so.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, before the big climb to 100K, I used a lot of Simplify 3D. I still like Simplify 3D's interface. It's hard to justify $150 when your printer costs $200, but
right.
But I loved it. But I did a kind of a poll in my audience, and the majority of, like 80% of the people wanted help with Cura.
Right.
And I went out and searched. Yeah, there were some videos on Cura, but no one really dove into how to really use it and the sub features and things like that. So that was one of the things that helped propel me to the 100K. Is I said, okay, this is a big gap. People need the help.
Right.
And that's probably my most successful videos really are about Cura.
Kira.
And Prusa wasn't even Prusa Slicer yet when I kind of started. They were just, converting from Slick 3R to Prusa Slicer. And now it's got, this new Prusa Slicer, I think is just going to kind of take over. It's got some great features and they're really working hard at it. I did a video on it I did a preliminary profile for people to get started, but I agree with you. It's got a lot of nice features, but I still say don't stick with one slicer because every slicer is going to have some features. So learn them. It doesn't hurt to learn more than one slicer.
Do you, and I want to you kind of alluded to the 100K, and I want to talk about that in 1 second, but I have a question about not Slick 3R, I'm sorry, about holy moly, I just lost it. The slicer you said you were using.
Simplify 3D.
Simplify 3D. See what happens is I'm reading chat at the same time, and then I lose thought when I see it's like a squirrel, Anyways, Simplify 3D. What I always was leery about is I didn't want to spend the money, and then all of a sudden I heard that they were going to relicense everything, and you'd have to spend the money again, and I'm like, I don't want to spend $150 when I bought a $160 Ender 3, and then all of a sudden in 6 months or whatever, they make me buy it again, for the upgrade. Do you know anything about that, or have you heard?
I just know what I've read too, and what I've heard indirectly and a little bit from them. I helped them debug some things because I used it a lot early on. But as far as I'm concerned, that was probably the worst marketing. You never tell That's why our printers. That's why our printers don't have serial numbers. They don't have version numbers, because
Right.
as soon as you tell someone you're coming out with version 1.2, the 1.1 won't sell.
Right.
And that's basically what they did. They said, we're going to come out with this new version. Oh, and by the way, it's going to cost you $50 more. It's like, oh, okay, just what you said.
Right.
So marketing wise, that was just stupid. But they've got some things that they limit you the number of profiles you could download. There was,
Right.
again, we started getting into the closed source realm with well, it is kind of closed source, but that irritated a lot of people. And they had my promotion on their channel. They had me on there in a picture, and they just one day took it off, and it kind of irritated me because they didn't ask, or it's like, oh wait, I've been promoting your stuff, and I use your stuff. They
Right.
did give me a free copy, but I was many videos prior. So I said, and that's when I was like, and I had a lot of people asking me about Cura, and I was like, yeah, maybe it's time to switch. And then I found out so many more people want Cura, so I was like, well, geez, this is the direction I'll go. But I still love their interface. I still think it's a good slicer. But if someone paid 150, I know they got a business model, but if someone paid $150, they shouldn't have to pay another $50 to get a slicer that just works a little better,
So
for $50, it should come over here and slice it for me and put it on the machine.
So we'll throw another wrench in real quick. Pooch is watching. He says, question for Chuck: why hasn't any of your racing experience translated to any success in the Murph spool racing circuit? Well, maybe because it was not bumper cars. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I don't know. No. That's funny.
He can laugh all he wants. He's gonna get his ass kicked.
I saw some Twitter, I think recently. You guys were talking. You were upgrading your wheels, right? New atomic spools, and I know like a whole bunch of people had fun with that. That was a fun stream there.
Yeah, no. I found out what just a friendly build a spool racer. It took 3 years. I give Pooch credit. He finally built one, and because no one built one. I'm there to race every year, and no one raced. So finally, he shows up with one, but then he's got to cheat to beat me. So if that's what we're gonna do, I raced stock cars for 10 years. I know you just bend the rules, so I can bend the rules. So don't worry, Pooch, you got it coming.
Nice. Well, you never know. I might show up with one this year. It's in the talks. And yeah, it might be fun. I actually I'm going to talk to Pooch, I think later this week. We're going to catch up and stuff. I just did this weekend indiscreetly because it's not released.
Yeah.
But and
he's got some nights. I'm just kidding with Pooch. So he's a great guy. We're good friends. And
most of us know
buy his boxes. They're awesome. They are good. I'm just having fun.
Oh yeah, we got to have fun, especially after the spill you took. I mean, geez, no. But so let's dive into 100K. I know, man. I think that's probably the question of the moment right now. What propelled you? Like, I know you tweeted out 18 months ago, you were where you were, and then all of a sudden, 18 months later, you're at 100K. How did you get there success-wise? I know there's a lot of people with small channels, like myself included, and that are getting started and that kind of stuff, that would love to know the inside scoop, right?
Yeah. I can't even, I don't even know if what I'm going to tell you was going to, help everybody, but it really, I celebrated 4 years, 18 months ago, it was 4 years on YouTube. And like I said, I had early success, channel really grew. And then I went through a phase where I was just designing things. I had kind of done so many fix this and fix that, and I kind of felt like I'd showed a lot of people a lot of the things. So now let's show what you can do with a 3D printer. And that's when I started fixing things around the house and all kinds of stuff, designing it in Tinkercad, and I was having a lot of fun. I enjoyed every week doing that. But the views just kind of leveled off, and the subscriber count kind of slowed down. And by that 4th year, I was like crawling to 25K. It just was not happening. I had this core group of like 2,000 to 3,000 viewers, came every week, loved what I was doing. I had like my core 200, about 200, well, about 150 people on Patreon. But you know, I wasn't making, honestly, I never made any money on YouTube up to that 4-year point, other than Patreon. I
Right.
wasn't doing affiliate links. I mean, AdSense, my biggest AdSense was like $150, you know, and that was around Christmas. Other than that, I wasn't even hitting $100 so much, which was the minimum pay. But I did. That wasn't what it was about. It was like, you know, I was having fun with it. But you still want to grow. You still want to, you know,
Right.
and get people to watch what you're doing. So around June of that price, so it was August when I was hitting that 25. June of that that same year, so a month prior, I was working on my CR10 Mini. I had a clog and it was unique. And I'm like, you know what? I'd have fixed it, but I needed a video because I'd spent all week working on this thing. So I said, you know, I'm just going to tear it back apart and show people this. Maybe I'll help 2 or 3 people. I didn't think that video would do anything. So I fixed it, put the video, threw it out there. And the one thing I did is I put affiliate links for the 3 parts I use: new nozzle, new couplings, new PTFE tubing.
Sure.
There was links to Amazon. I had an Amazon account, never used it. And then I put it out there and says, here, you know, go for it. So here I am, 25 a month later, a month and a half later, I'm looking at the 25K, and I had listened to all the experts, you know, do better thumbnail, do better keywords, you know, do better search, do better. You know, I'm looking at maybe, because I film everything on an iPad, you know, and I'm like, well, maybe I do better equipment. You name it, I tried it. I studied every stat you could study. Nothing I tried worked. Nothing they told me worked. And then I got like an email from somebody or a comment saying, hey, you know, where can I buy those couplings? I said, there's a link in the description. I'm like, well, no, I tried that. It's not there. So I was like, oh man, what, the guy sell 6 of them, you know? So he sold out. So I went and found another one for the guy, gave him a link. And then I went back and says, hey, you know what? I think I could see how many sold. And I went back and there was like, I don't know, it was like $300 worth of affiliate sales from that period, like a 30-day period. And I was like, and the views were like 10,000, 10, 11,000. I'm like, wait, what is going on here? And then it just kind of like hit me like, you know, duh. This is what grew my channel. This is where my success was.
Right.
For some reason, people like watching me explain how to fix things and how to improve things. And I got away from that. And so I said, you know, it's time to just, I still do Tinkercad and fix stuff around the house, but I said, maybe it's time to help people get started with printing, 3D printing. And maybe it's, you know, there's still a lot of people getting started. And I had an under 3. I've been sending under 3. I wasn't impressed with it. In fact, I compared it to CR10 Mini, and you know, I told them to buy CR10 Mini. And so I said, you know what? Why don't I make that my target? I don't know if anybody will use it, but I'm gonna make that my target and start playing with it, fixing it up.
Sure.
And then that's about that time I started doing the Cura. And then, yeah, teaching tech, I think he launched, you know, like maybe 6 months before that or whatever. And it was kind of the 2 of us just kind of, we didn't talk or nothing, but we were just kind of in sync. We're always kind of, you know, doing videos about this. And we both like, I mean, he kept growing. He's still growing good. And, but that, it just took off for me. And I found that passion again of just helping people. And I was having just an absolute riot fixing this, you know, Ender 3 and finding little things in Cura. And YouTube algorithm said, hey, people are watching. And then the algorithm does the rest. It really does the rest. I just put the videos out and the algorithm sent people my way.
That's awesome. So, nice. Well, note to self. Let's see. No, no, I think, you know, this is, what are we at? It's actually a month and 1 day or something. I'm sorry, 1 year, 1 month, and 1 day since I posted my very first video, and I'm about at the 7,500 subscriber mark, and you know, growing. But I need to be consistent. One thing I notice about your channel is that every week, no matter what, you're putting out a video every week, and I think that's one of the things that myself and a lot of people making videos, that's a hard thing to do. It's a really hard thing to do, to put out 1 video a week and be consistent every single week, because it takes a lot of time to do it, right? Not to mention doing this and getting set up and preparing for this every week. I mean, this is only an hour, but by the time I get on and get, it's really like an hour and 40 minutes by the time I, get on and all that, plus the prep work, plus reaching out to the community. And, what's really funny is I've had much better luck with other YouTube influencers. I don't like that word, but influencers, right? And I really wanted to start this channel for the people to show us what they're working on, kind of like a digital Murph,
Right.
I have, and anyone out there, if you want to be on the channel, shoot me an email, jim@theedutech.com. I'll get you on the showcase here, because that's really why I wanted to start this. But it's so hard to find people every week that want.
Oh, yeah. I think the thing is, you got to put something out there, and I've learned this the hard way, but you got to put something out there that people want to search for, people want to find, people want to watch.
Right.
And sometimes, like what I was doing, I was loving what I was doing, but I found, a lot of the audience is a heck of a lot younger than me, who wants to watch, their dad or their uncle or whatever, tell them what to do anymore. It's so I'm at, it's a bit of a disadvantage there, but at the same point, I have knowledge that I want to share. But the idea is that it's got to be interesting or entertaining that the audience wants. So it can be some of what you want, but it's also got to be a chunk of what they want. And that balance is tough to find. Plus, if you're naturally funny, it's advantage. I'm not. If you're can really be entertaining and stuff, and certain things, that helps. I'm not. But as far as like the every week, I was told early on, you got to do it every week so they find you, so do it the same day. And that has changed with the algorithm. I still do it because I want to do it. I want people to see it. But you look at some of these channels like Mark Rober and some of those other ones that they put one video out a month.
Right.
But the topic they choose, they know is, it's going to be good because of the keyword searches and everything else. And then they do a, pretty elaborate performance. You can't help but watch, right? So it's more than just find your passion is my point, but find your passion and then find how other people's passion, how the two can mesh,
And I think, but the funny part of that is I started my channel working on the Ender 3. So I was playing with filming Luke's guide. If you ever heard of Luke Hatfield.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did his fix. The little PTFE tube inside.
He's awesome, and he wrote that guide. But when I first got in, I didn't know what the stuff was that he was talking about. He's a very technical guy, and I said, "Hey, can I start filming this step by step, and then I'll shoot you the video. You tell me what I did wrong, and then I'll fix it, and then I'll post it." And that's how I started, and that's how I learned. I mean, I learned a ton from that. I tore down my Ender 3, the first one I had. I don't even know how many times. It was so sad. I'd have it printing so good, and I'm like, I got to make this next video. I got to rip apart the X gantry now and start over, But it was cool. It was a really good experience, and you're absolutely right. You really got to find what people like to watch. And luckily, this show has been pretty good. We're pretty consistent on the numbers here. We have a really good group of people that watch. And then, like I said, I just got to focus in on, like you're saying, you got to focus in on what your passion is. And I really appreciate that advice. I think a bunch of us probably do.
Yeah, and you want to grow your audience. So you want to do things that maybe outside your audience would like, and that's always hard to do. But it's like watching a TV show. 5 seasons into a TV show, they cancel it because there's not enough interest anymore. I'm 5.5 years into mine, so I got to do something to keep my audience. So I'm always trying to reinvent, and that's why I'm looking at adding more electronics in, maybe capture some of that audience and introduce that to some people who are just good 3D printing, but. 3D printing will always be part of it because I'm still fascinated. I can still print my original, CHEP pawn. I can still print this thing and still amazed because it's so much better now than it was 5 years ago that I still pull it off my printer and go, holy cow, look at this thing. Look at how far we've come and how far are we going to go? It's just going to get better. So,
well, and I know Let's see, Steven, the Lightspeed. I actually got the pleasure to meet Steven while I was in Arizona. Super cool guy. He said he'd like to see Chuck do some Kira for the Artemis. I think that would be super cool because I know he has one it's pretty modified, but he has one that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've done a few Artemis videos. I haven't done anything with Sure. In fact, I was looking at that. They got some profiles. See Me CNC has some profiles for it. They just updated. So I may play with those. So I'll keep that in mind.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. And I think that's what's fun about I just love watching my Delta, watching my See Me CNC Delta work. It's just such a different experience to watch all the arms work together and how everything works. And when I first I don't know if you had a kit, but I had a kit, so I put it together. And the first time I had to do the first home, I powered it in. There was no smoke. I was like, all right, I'm gonna hit the home button. Please don't crash, And I watched it move, and I was like, oh, I'm hooked. This thing is awesome. So,
yeah, no, I did a kit, and it prints so fast. That's the thing is,
yes.
a Delta prints so much faster than a Cartesian. So when I need something big and fast, it's going on the Artemis.
Right now, Steven says his Artemis is finishing a 4-day MMU print. Wow. Holy moly, 4 days and it worked. With the MMU, I mean, not the Artemis. There's a bunch of cool things. So what time we got? We got about 13 minutes left, and I know I don't want to keep you too long over. I know I promised you an hour, so I have that talking problem where sometimes you can go all night, and I try to hold this show because it's a Monday night right at dinner.
I do the same thing. Okay.
But
let's take some questions.
Yeah, definitely. I'll grab some questions. Before we do that, I'm going to get a, let's do this. I'm going to do a giveaway for a mystery roll of Coex 3D printing filament of your choice. It'll be a mystery roll, so you'll choose what size and what material, but it will be the mystery roll. And Old Curmudgeon says dinner was over. I'm going to do this completely different. I need a number between 0 and 100. So if you are out there and you're watching, I usually do a keyword, but I'm gonna make this totally crazy tonight because we're watching. Throw a number in between 0 and 100, and we will keep talking, and in a couple minutes we'll pull that. So everybody watching, we have at least 80 of us that I can see. A number between 0 and 100, and let's see. And you're going to be at Murph, right? We talked about that a little bit. You're going to be at Murph. Are you going to have a booth again?
I normally I sponsor, but all the sponsor slots ran out. So I'm going to be fighting with everybody else for a table, I guess. I don't know. Either that, I might share with somebody if I can't, but I will be there one way or another. Yes.
Nice. And the couple questions that I had written down. Are you going to bring your spool racer again?
Yes.
And if I bring one, can I race you?
Yes.
And then also, are you going to get revenge on Pooch? But I think we already went over that. So
yes. Oh, there was a question. Am I from Canada? No, I'm not from Canada. I'm from Detroit. So
yeah, Detroit.
We play hockey. We play hockey in Detroit too. So
let's see. Kira for the Artemis. I'm just going back quick through the comments here. I know some people said they'd like to see some more Adreno videos. Let's see. You have any questions for the chat? There's a good one. What are you working on? Special projects? Anything you're printing now?
Printing. Nothing special as far as printing. I have an electronics project I've been working. I've been showing a little bit on Twitter. So that'll be a 3D print to cover that thing or enclose that thing.
Right.
So I'll be working on that. But no, I've been actually just pushing the limits on my printers, trying to figure out how to make the profile better and finding out. Actually, I'm gonna be trying out a 32-bit board on it finally.
Nice.
Been getting a lot of requests for that. I'm an 8-bit guy, a really hardcore 8-bit guy. I've been doing 8-bit since I'm dating myself, but microcontrollers were new when I was in college. 8-bit microcontrollers were the latest, and so I've been a little resistant, but yeah, I got a 32-bit board to play with, so I'll be trying that soon, and we'll see. But like I said, there's so many things I can try. I just want to make better prints. I want to figure out how to make better prints,
What do
and
you?
so that's I'm doing.
Mike says, "What are you looking forward to at Murph?"
The people. I mean, it's just I went to Murph. God, I'm gonna put that video out. I did a video. I was only there for like 3 hours when Murph was new, before YouTubers, before we announced it, and it just grew from there. It was so cool to be able to just talk to people who shared that 3D printing experience, who loved the stuff. And every year I get to see those guys again and find out what they're doing. And then of course it's grown, and see all the, so many friends in the community.
Right.
So to me, it's all about, I look forward to seeing everybody in person and just finding out what's going on. I don't even get that excited as much about the printers as much as I do just talking to people, and they'll show me, hey, look what I found, or I used your profile and I proved it, and here's what I can do with it. And oh my God, that's awesome. So I gain from it, but it's just really meeting the people.
Sherry says, "Is the Filament Friday filament made in Michigan?"
The material is not, no, it's not made in Michigan, but the material is in the U.S., but then it is exported and then brought back in. So it is, it's a world filament, so to speak. But it's stuff I use in my print farm every day, and that's where it came from. We just bought it to use in a print farm, and in order to get better pricing, we had to buy these big pallets. So at that point, my son said, well, why don't we put it in a Filament Friday box and sell this as Filament Friday filament, because we had excess. And that's how it happened.
Nice.
That's how it happened. So,
and of course, Carl says, "When are you going to build a white knight?" The same time we all are, Carl, when we get the parts.
Exactly.
No. No.
As soon as Carl builds me one.
Yeah, right. That thing is amazing. Let's see. Also, cool. Jerry asks, "Does Chuck watch other channels much for support and ideas?"
I wouldn't say I watch for support or ideas, because the last thing I want to do is, try to steal from somebody's other channel. That is not what I want to do. And certainly once you get to a certain level, I can do something, get 20,000 views where someone got 2,000. Hey, you stole my idea. So no, I don't want to do that, and I don't do that. But do I watch other channels? Yes, I watch, and many of the channels I watch are, under 10,000, because there's that enthusiasm and there's that uniqueness that a lot of the channels have, that takes me back to when I started, and it revives me in that respect. And there's some really cool stuff being done. So, so yeah, I know I watch a lot of YouTube. My wife's always like, "What are you looking at now?" I'm like, "YouTube." What do you think I'm looking at? So yeah.
What's funny is my mom bought me, when I got my first condo, she bought me a book of everything you could maybe need to fix in a house, right? It was like, learn to fix your house or something. I can't remember the book name because it's been a while, but now I literally will just open YouTube and search, how do I do this? Or how do I do that? And I'll watch it. I learn so much better visually myself anyway, but it's amazing. And it could be 3D printing. It can be electrical. It could be completely different, it could be anything, and it's out there, and I love YouTube for that platform. Let's see, where are we going here?
Well, I'll tell you, that's one question. You said I have a question for the audience. One question is, are they interested in electronics other than Arduino? Because Arduino's everywhere, but I've been using like PIC microcontrollers and some real simple compilers where a little dollar microcontroller where you don't have to buy a module. That's really what I'd like to show, and hopefully that's as interesting as Arduino, but you can actually do more cheaper. So does that sound interesting to anybody out there? Because that's what my projects would probably be about.
Nice. Crowley's in the house. I hope you guys are doing good and staying healthy. Just wanted to say hi. I saw Crowdy pop in, so thank you
Oh,
for.
fantastic.
Yeah, and I know those guys are great over there. I just hope they're all staying healthy and stay safe. We don't take. I know I say this with bias, but take your time to go back. Whatever you guys got to do to be safe over there. Let's see. Well, while we're talking, I'm going to hit this button. Let's roll it. All right, waiting for a winner. Brian Vine says, "Tell Chuck I'd be interested in PIC videos."
Okay, excellent. Excellent. It's great feedback. It looks like a few other yeses in there I saw.
Right. Winning number is, let's see. Perfect. Okay. So winning number is 38. I don't know if I saw 38 pop in though. It didn't tell me. Well, that's no fun. What the heck? Try this
I see
again.
a 30. I see a 30, a couple 37s.
C-Dub just says 38. I love it. Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't see a 38.
I win.
I guess I win, yeah.
Well, that's really weird how that worked. I've not done it like this before. So here's the deal. Type a number between 1 and 100 one more time. I'm going to hit this button, and it'll actually start over. I didn't realize I had to hit that. That's totally my fault. Bernie, that's hilarious. He's just typing all the numbers. Everybody type a number between 1 and 100 real quick, and we'll see what
those comments
picks it in. Yeah, that's weird. Apparently, you have to start it. I thought it would just pick. Usually, I do a keyword, and then it looks through and finds that key, randomly. But
right.
What else do I got? Oh, so real quick, we were talking a little bit about the stream. I alluded to this before I was live. This Sunday at 11 a.m., Stefan from CNC Kitchen will join us. We're going to do a special Sunday version of the Community Showcase with Stefan. I let him choose a day and the time because his time zone's completely crazy for us, And so Sunday at 11 a.m., I did post it on the site on my YouTube page, so check that out. A lot of fun questions. And then Monday, we are going to do our normal Monday night too. We're going to have David Hewlett from, you know him from Stargate, you know him from a bunch of movies, and he has some really cool tech stuff going on. He'll be on next Monday too. So a lot of really cool guests. And I just can't thank you guys enough for, agreeing to come on and talk to this crazy dude for an hour, but I know, while everybody's choosing numbers, let's see if did it find a winner. I don't think it found a winner yet. Let me look here. Did it yell at us? Nope. Keep trying. Keep guessing. 0 and 100. I see what the winning number is. No one's hit it yet. Someone's close though. Anyways, what's really funny is last year I went to Murph and I had like 400 subscribers, 450 subscribers. And I said, "Hey, can I interview you for my channel?" And you were like, "Sure." And you let me interview you. I thought, never being to a Murph, brand new into 3D printing, never experienced anything like that, which blew my mind. If you've not been to Murph, you got to get to one of those because, like
you got to go to Murph.
Chuck said,
Murph is just
all
fantastic.
about the people, and you talk shop. We'll call it shop all day, and it's amazing. But I wanted to say thank you for that too, because that really meant a lot when you said, "Yeah, let's do an interview." And I was just like, "Holy moly!" I'm this little no channel down here, and you've been person I've been watching, and I really appreciated that. So I just wanted to say thank you again for that.
I appreciate you asking.
HVA to Z, HVAC A to Z. Sergio, congratulations! You hit the right number, and
what was it?
It was 99.
Oh, yes. All right.
Nice job. You guys, everybody's still hammering them. Yes, Bob S. caught it. Nightbot says HVAC A to Z. His name is Sergio1. Congratulations, Sergio. That is an interesting way to do it. I'm not sure I'll do it that way ever again because it was kind of chaotic, but it was fun anyway. We had some fun with it. Let's see. So check us out next Sunday for Stefan, next Monday for David Hewlett. But I don't want to keep you too much over. I know it's 7 o'clock now. But
it's your call, man.
How about let us know, where can we find you? We're all the places. They're in the description below. But go ahead and take as long as you want to tell us where we can find you and why we should go there.
Yeah, I mean, you can always find me at filamentfriday.com. It'll take you right to the YouTube channel. You know, other than maybe a couple Fridays, I'm there every Friday, and that's that's I'm there to help you. I'm on Twitter at Chuck Hellebuyck, so sometimes just share odds and ends behind the scenes. Patreon supporters, of course, I occasionally will post unique stuff on there, and there's chepclub.com, which is mainly help support. Thank you for the Patreon supporters. I got different levels there, so there's electronics projects in there. Some of my books are there, so you don't have to buy. You can just you can read it right there. And but I always try to keep something flowing on there, so that's another place. Chepclub.com, but the main one, just filamentfriday.com, take you right to the YouTube channel.
Nice.
That's where I'm at.
Awesome. Well, that's awesome. I know a whole bunch of people saying thank you for coming on, and I know let's see, Robbie Mack says the giveaway blew through the chat, but I think the consensus is many would like to see CHEP do electronics videos. And I think you're right, Robbie. I was watching between all the numbers that were flying by. People were definitely saying that. I know, compared to the 100K that you have, this is a small sample rate. But I tell you, myself included, I would be watching. So hopefully, you can sprinkle some of those in.
All right, it's coming.
Nice.
We'll see how it goes, but it's coming.
Yeah.
So thanks for the feedback. I appreciate it. If you guys have ideas, hey, let me know.
Nice. Well, thank you again, everybody. You can find me right here on the Edge of Tech every Monday. This week will be Sunday and Monday again, so follow that. Don't forget, Sunday, I have a video already on the YouTube channel. You can go hit that reminder button. It'll be 11 a.m. with Stefan from CNC Kitchen. He is such a cool guy, and I had a pleasure to meet him at Murph last year. Nicest guy ever. But Michael says, sorry he missed it. You can always rewatch it. But if you have any questions for me, let me know. You can email me. You can always chat in this video. What's the best way to hit you on your video in the comments on your videos? Or
yeah, if you go to chepclub.com, there's a contact form there.
Perfect.
And you don't have to be a member or nothing. Just you can get me there.
Awesome. There you go. You heard it here. Check out the contact form, and he'll check it out. Thanks again to all the sponsors of the show, RPM Designs and Robbie Mack. You are the master. I appreciate the background. I have some fun stuff I didn't drop on today, but I'll have to do that. Actually, I'm going to do it. Why not? He created this new, you can barely see it up there in the corner. I'll have to make that bigger next time. It's a backdrop, and then he put a pacifier under my glasses because we have a baby coming in May. And so he sent me that the other day. So
there goes the sleep.
Yes. Coex 3D, thank you guys so much for helping me out with the channel here with the spools and filament. And of course, Tim and TH3D and the whole crew over there. Thank you guys for rocking and rolling. But you guys have a great night. Thank you for coming. Thank you for hanging out with us. Chuck, hang out right there. I'll be right back with you. And everybody else, thank you guys for stopping by and hanging out with us for an hour. If you want to see more videos like this, hit that like button. And what we'll do is maybe I'll talk to Chuck after the stream, and we'll get another stream here in a couple months and follow up on everything what we've been talking about. So that being said, happy Monday, everybody. You guys have a great week and keep printing.